Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm Wongel Zelalem, and today we are here with another live stream. There is an update in the Benin coup attempt that we discussed yesterday. If you remember, we had a discussion on how they were able to thwart it, how the coup leaders failed, and how France and Nigeria were involved along with ECOWAS. France has given a statement through, of course, the president. President Emmanuel Macron has opened up and he has told us that the reason, not the reason, the way they helped the coup d'etat to be thwarted was through surveillance and logistical assistance. So he is being open and honest. He also said they helped with observation. I'm not really clear on what that means, but that is what President Macron has said. We already knew the involvement because Macron, immediately after the coup was announced that it has been thwarted, he admitted that he had a call with President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu. And, what do you think happened after that conversation? Nigeria sent through aircrafts and they bombed. It's safe to say they bombed those areas that were believed to have sheltered the coup leaders. But it sounds like, or it looks like, according to reports, the coup leaders have escaped. The coup leader was named Colonel Pascal Tigri, and currently, just an hour ago, there has been breaking news. Togo and Benin are at it because the report showed that he is currently seeking refuge in Togo, neighboring country Togo. Let me show you how close Togo and Benin are to one another. Look at this map. This is the map of Africa, but just Western Africa. And as you can see, Benin, right? You can see Benin right next to Benin. There's a small country that you can see, Togo, right? On the right, you'll see Nigeria. North, you'll see Niger. You'll see Burkina Faso. You'll see to the left Ghana. But Togo is between Benin and Ghana, and it's like a sandwich, right? It's sandwiched between them. And so the report that just broke out an hour ago, actually, was that the coup leader is seeking refuge in Togo. And now the Benin authorities are demanding for their extradition and for them to come back home. Togo has not confirmed, denied. They have not said anything thus far. And Benin made a claim after that and said, if they don't give back this coup leaders, attempted coup leaders, they don't send them back to Benin, we are going to assume that Togo was behind this coup. Like, imagine that. That's a huge thing to say. These are neighboring countries, they share a border. Obviously, you have to use diplomatic words. You don't want to go to war. You don't want any troubles, right? Unless you're looking for trouble. But the Benin authorities made it very clear that they are going to take this seriously. And their claim is that if Togo doesn't respond and give back the attempted coup leaders, they are going to assume that Togo was behind the coup. Like, that's a big deal. That is, big words used, like it's like we're ready for a fight kind of thing, because how are you accusing a neighboring country of concocting a whole coup d'etat against the government, right? That is big. That's one that is developing. It's a developing story because Togo still hasn't made any statement, at least now, as of now, as I'm talking about this. So it's going to be interesting to follow up on that as well. Will authorities in Togo extradite or give away Colonel Pascal? That's a big question mark. And if they do, what is going to happen to him? And what is Benin, along with their, the government's ally, France, what are they going to do about it? It is going to be interesting to follow up, definitely. But how do you feel about Emmanuel Macron coming clean, being open and honest about what he has done, what he has instructed his troops to do, as well as what he has told Nigerian President Bola Tinubu to do? Yeah, let me know. John White said Macron has many sins to admit to. That's true, but I don't think he will admit to all of them, right? We don't expect that to happen. But it seems like um, in a lot of cases his is it arm arm is being twisted, and he has to come clean because the evidence against what has been happening is tremendous, and he can no longer hide behind it. And as we talked about yesterday, like, he is losing popularity in his own country. People are protesting against him. They want him out. They do not like him. They just, they're not happy and pleased with him. But what they're failing to realize is that he's not the only problem. It's their whole government. And the past and the present, France has been one of the worst colonial power. Worst. Like, I know there's no good in colonization and what they've done is awful, but the others, after, let's say, it was said and done and they had to leave the country, not all of them left, but some of them stayed in, still own acres and acres of land in many African countries. They still have power, but at the very least they pretended like, to go, you know what I mean, like they did not grab onto everything. And France was greedy, so greedy. And they, even after, those countries got their independence, they were horrible to them. They were still controlling them. They still attend their meetings. There are even some countries, when France was kicked out of the countries, they burnt down infrastructure, they burnt down vehicles, because they did not want to leave anything positive behind. That's how bad they treated their former colonies. So right now, when you hear the countries that were once colonized by France, when they're standing up, when they're saying no more, when they're pushing back, it's because they were pushed to their limit. It's because France was so horrible to them that they've had enough. They finally said, we're not going to do this anymore, right? So there's a lot of crime to admit to apologize to, compensate, to fix. But unfortunately, the greed would not allow that to happen, and here we are. They pushed the people to their limits, and now this is where France economically is struggling. They are collapsing. Don't buy the hype that they send out through their movies, their social media, through the news. Don't believe that. And especially in 2025, go and Google or go on TikTok or X and search up influencers traveling to France, especially Paris, and realizing that it was a lie. Yes, there are parts that are beautiful. There are parts that you've seen in movies and you've always said, okay, I want to visit that place. But majority of the areas and the cities, it's it's not looking good. It's outdated. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of dirtiness. Like, you would think Paris will be so, clean and looking nice, but behind the scenes, actual Paris is actually, it's not a place you would want to be. And even with the crimes, the police don't help you at all. It's horrible, honestly. It's like, what's that saying, what I ordered versus what I got. That's what a lot of people were saying after traveling there. They feel bamboozled, basically. And we shall see what's going to happen to France now that its former colonies are no longer interested in continuing this parasitic relationship that they've had for many, many years. Um, Rick says Macron versus Candace Owens. It's quite interesting to follow up that story. Like a whole president of a European country, France, is suing a podcaster, a journalist, a YouTuber, whatever she is in the US, to sue her over a rumor or over something that she said about his wife. Like, doesn't he have bigger things to do? Like, his country is collapsing as we speak, and he's focused on the wrong things. If his wife is truly a woman, like, why do you care? Just move on. Laugh about it, get mad at it, talk about it with your wife and just move on. Why do you need to go ahead and sue someone in the United States and you're a sitting president? It's giving there's something that he's trying to hide. There's something that he doesn't want to be out there, but then he's making it worse because he's giving this story more life, in my opinion. But yeah, I haven't watched actually the full documentary and stuff that she made about his wife. But I've seen snippets online, and let's just say it's interesting. It's an interesting perspective. Um, D-Mode said the Nigerian leadership and the Benin leadership are puppets of France. The Nigerian leadership are enemies of Nigeria. Let me show you a picture. Since you mentioned Nigeria and France, I gotta show you this image. Oh my god, I chuckled when I saw this picture, and it's a whole video actually, and it's just the journalist took this picture. Like, look at the sparkle and the love in their eyes as they're looking at each other. It's such a yeah. I got another one for you actually. How about that one? Yeah. This is their relationship in a nutshell. They are fond of each other, and they have a let's just say they have a good relationship. um a I struggle to say your name. AOH said, "Hi Wengel, why would Nigeria help Macron or France in stopping the coup in Benin? If true, disappointed in Nigeria, are they puppets of NATO?" Well, if you said if true, it is true because the what was the report? Um, Three aircrafts that belonged to the Nigerian military, as well as I believe one France. I'm not sure about the France one, but for sure, Macron also admitted that he has given support in regards to what was it, surveillance and logical assistance. So that's admitted, like it's a known fact that France was involved. But also, as far as Nigeria goes, Nigerian troops were in Benin. Not just troops, but aircrafts were in Benin's airspace, and they were bombing, like they were airstriking in the capital city where the coup was happening, allegedly. I don't know if we can say it allegedly when they've reported on it and admitted, but yeah, let's just say allegedly. Just, we all know Macron likes to sue. Huh? So, yeah, and also remember we talked about 11, or is it 14? 11, yes. 11 Nigerian troops were arrested in Burkina Faso. As I said earlier, Benin and Burkina Faso share a border. And so, I guess when Nigeria was sending its troops, whatever, they bled to Burkina Faso. We don't know. We're not going to say that it was intentional. Although Nigeria made a statement, I believe today or yesterday, and the Nigerian government says, no, like our troops, it was an accident. It was they called it emergency landing. That's the word. The military said it was an emergency landing that they had to do in Burkina Faso, and that craft was actually leaving for Portugal, and it never was meant for it to, you know, uh, violate the Burkina Faso airspace. That's what they're claiming. So we do know that Nigeria was involved, but not just that. ECOWAS also sent the troops, and that was on what is it called, on foot, like on land, not airstrike. But yeah, we know that they were involved. Elaine said, "Yeah, forgive, bless, protect, and restore your true people mightily." Amen. Amen to that. Um, yes, France still have. Keith said, yes, France still have your house slave puppet. Is just a matter of time. But it's, bottom line is, um, in 2025, France is not as powerful as it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's just a decline year after year. So at the very least, we know that a lot of those countries that France once exploited are not taking that anymore. So that's a positive thing. But as you know, there are still others that will allow for this to happen, to continue, because they have a relationship with France, with Macron. They're promised something. They want the relationship to continue. Not just that, Bola Tinubu, I believe it was yesterday, asked France for, I believe, was it military assistance or cooperation? It's just so hilarious. Like, it's just, you can't make this stuff up. Nigeria had the military, like a strong enough military to be sent to Benin and thwart a whole coup, but it doesn't have enough military personnel to tackle Boko Haram in its own country. Make that make sense. It's so weird, right? Like, Bola Tinubu was asking Macron to help him out in that way, and it's the same person the day before yesterday that was sending airstrikes to Benin, its neighboring country. So it's telling. It's very telling. Um, Buck said, Miss Wangel, hello. Um, oh, I don't know if I can say that, Dave, um, on YouTube, but yeah, Macron definitely is making all the wrong decisions, and we're here for it. We are here for it. I remember there was a minister or an ex-politician in France saying that Macron is waking those Africans up because he's not very good at, I guess, hiding intentions, the deals he's making, whatever it may be. It woke a lot of Africans up, a lot of African countries. So his own countryman, I forgot what it was. It was either an ex-minister or some sort of politician, and he was saying that it's because of Macron that these Africans are, well, waking up, or whatever he said. I'm misquoting him, but something like that. Um, oop, okay, I can't read that one. um, Bug said Macron looked at dude like he's God. I'm assuming you're either talking about this picture or this one. Oh, we're talking about Trudeau, Canada. Tien said, "You're way too focused on the West. It may be time to worry about yourself, my brother or my sister, whoever you are right here." Literally, the story we're talking about is France. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, admitting to his involvement, or his country's involvement, in thwarting a coup d'etat in an African country, Benin. Who is getting involved in whose business? Or what are you on, my brother? Or what are we on? Like, What are we talking about? Are we here to listen? Are we talking about the same thing? Yeah, I don't think you heard the story. We're not we, we're not here to focus on the West or care about the West, but the West keeps evolving itself, pushing us, forcing us into talking about the West, because the Western countries are always in our business, always changing the narrative, always on their own news platforms, pushing lies and telling us that we should believe this and that when that's not the case. So I think if you're from the West, or like, I don't know who you are, but you're defending the West, so look within, look in the mirror. It's my advice. Um, Todd said, it's crazy that despite what most Africans already know about France and other colonizers, they're still allowing them to influence their destiny. Well, you see, like, who are we talking about when we say they? Are we talking about the puppets? Are we talking about the leaders? Are we talking about the government? Okay, that's what you're talking about. You also have to understand these leaders are handpicked. These leaders are puppets. They're not they're not the average person. They're not you and me. They're not the people, the civilians, the youth. They're not. And in a lot of countries, the election is rigged. And when it's not rigged and the people vote for those that they want, like for example, we're just talking about Guinea-Bissau coup d'etat, right? And how the people in Guinea-Bissau believe that this was a fake coup, a coup concocted by the president, because there was an election a week ago or two, November, I believe it was November 23rd. There was a coup d'etat. No, not a coup d'etat, an election. And in that election, the opposition got a lot of votes. That's what the people are saying. So when the president realized, ooh, they didn't vote for me and I'm not ready to leave, he got, allegedly, his close friends to set up this coup d'etat. So now, even though the transitional president or the coup leader or the president is a different person, it's still in the same hands. That's how they keep changing hands. That's how they keep us in the place that we are in. So we can't say you people. What do we do? If anything, you have to respect the youth. They are pushing back. They're being killed left and right when they are protesting, when they're demanding and they're asking to be treated fairly. And we can give you so many examples, like we've talked about it on this channel, right? So yeah. Dirty said, hello sis, how are you? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Yeah, Tien is still on that one, saying you have tools and knowledge to fend for yourselves. I don't think the West is the source of your issues. Well, Tien, I respectfully disagree. And most of the issues that are currently going on as we speak in the continent of Africa is related with the West, whether in the past or present. Presently, they are involved. And that is what we're asking. We're actually asking for them to leave us alone, for their military presence to be removed, for them to stop putting in their own puppets to keep us where we're at just because they want to get cheaper labor, what is it called, cheaper resources, cheaper raw materials. That's what we're talking about. When we're talking about DRC, you think it's the people? It's deeper than that. Like, they are benefiting from our misery, so they make sure that they keep us in that place by putting in their own people, by creating this fake wars, by providing the tools and the guns and all those things that we talk about. Like, that's what we're talking about. We're not. Why would we even spend a second talking about Western nations if they're not bothering us? Like, it does not make sense. You think when the Sahel region came together, like the IES, the Sahel Alliance, that we always talk about, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, do you think they were saying, oh, the West, they kicked them out and now they're rebuilding? They're signing agreements within themselves. They are protecting one another. They are trading. They are doing what they need to do. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about building our continent without the interference of the West. I hope that's clear. Um, Gabriel said Abraham Lincoln described democracy as government of the people, by the people, for the people. ECOWAS must realize that democracy cannot be imposed. The USA tried for many years and failed. Yeah, and also democracy is democracy for, let's say, the US or American like Western nations, could be European countries. They only care about democracy and push democracy when it's not someone that they have approved, but when they know that there's a dictator in place and he's doing all the wrong things, they don't say anything and they're quiet and silent if it benefits them, if they have a deal in place. So you're telling me they really care about the concept of democracy? No, they just use it to do what they need to do in a country. That's the case. I don't know how to read that. What language is that? I can't read it. As they said, a little comment on the chat to appeal the algorithm. Thanks. Um, Barbara said, corrupt leaders lead to corrupt people. What minerals does Nigeria have that Macron is after? Macron is after not just the minerals in Nigeria. Macron is after the strategic positioning of Nigeria. Look at this map right here. Look at where Benin is. Look at where Nigeria is. Look at all those countries around that area that France once ruled over, once controlled, and now they no longer have the grip, at least in most of these countries. It's strategic. This is geopolitics. AOH said, yes, Wengel, great point about Boko Haram in Nigeria. They are funded by NATO, and Nigerian officials must know that, which is why they don't do more to stop. And a person is here telling us Western nations are not your problem. Like, when was it? I don't know if you've watched this video. A few months ago, a politician came out in the US admitting that some of this AIDS and the organizations that they're using to fund, to give us money, to help us with health care and poverty and so on and so forth, those organizations were being used to funnel money to bring in, like, to actually support the terrorists. Like, that came from a US official. Even Trump, I remember, suspended, I don't know which organization, remind me in the comment section. Was it USA? Like, there was something he was working on with Elon Musk to expose those organizations that were supposed to help the impoverished Africans, but the resources, the money goes to funding those that are bringing chaos. So you're telling me the West is innocent? We're just obsessed with the West. Make it make sense, brother. Buck said, everybody got their issues. Good luck. MSC says Macron really acts like he wants to start an all-out war. And the thing is, even if he starts, he's not going to do it in his country. Like, that's what I wish these puppets can understand. He's going to do it in your land, far away from his. And the casualties, guess what? Is going to be your people. Yeah. Bakur said both pics. I know. I chuckled looking at those pics, to be honest. Barbara said, my sister, please, please ignore ignorance. But you see, sometimes you have to, answer to ignorance as well. Like, come on now, we're not foolish. Like, you cannot tell us, show us apple and you're telling us that's a banana. No, it's not true. And we're going to call it out. But feel free to be in our comment section and have a chat. Buck said, I got no beef with the motherland. Thank you, Buck. We hope to see you, soon. At least visit us. At least visit one country if you've never been. Cortez said, very pretty. Thank you. Hi, Stefan. Peace to you too. Let me see. Yeah, Dave said many leaders are selected. Yes, handpicked and trained as well, by the way. Not it's not a random pick. They have been trained. Yeah, Child of God said, why do the people allow the African ruling class to continue to sell them out and use the people's resources to live their best lives? They allowed it for so long out of fear. Like, you also have to understand these people are ruthless and they're backed by these nations, and they have the money because the money that is being given, let's say, to help this and that, for infrastructure, for contracts, it goes through them, through their family. They use majority of it, so they're powerful, they have money, they have surveillance, they control that country basically as if it belongs to them, not that they're there to serve people, but to be served, right? So it's been tough whenever people push back, whenever one person or two raises their hand, they're just turned down or worse, unalived. So people are afraid, but nowadays I think it's changing. Yes, people are afraid, but most people are at least attempting to stand up, and they're paying the price for it. Many people are getting unalived when they're just all they're doing is calling out evil, and it's fear. They rule by using fear. Cortez said screenshot after screenshot. Yeah. Well, that could be a topic for another day if you're interested. Driver asked, what's the difference between Somaliland and Somalia? We can talk about it maybe on the next live. Um, Somaliland is has separated, but it's not been seen as, how countries have to accept you as a country. Not, it has not been accepted by the world as its own country. So there's a lot going on between Somaliland and Somalia, but it's a long story. We can talk about it some other time. Yes. Okay. Thank you. AOH said yes. US aid. That's the one I was trying to talk about earlier. There's so many comments. Thank you guys. Hi Susan. Thank you for coming through. Hello the ink and Hawasa and Cortez. We need an anchor like Wongel in local American media. Ooh, I'm flattered. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Hawasa. I appreciate you for watching as well. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for the chat, and I'll leave you. I'll first show you this picture as a bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye.